Hey you guys. This video really has emerged from a lot of conversations that I've been having on the topic of awakening, also from questions that I receive again and again in sessions that I do with people where I'm being asked about the Kundalini energy, whether or not you need a spontaneous Kundalini awakening or an active Kundalini in order to awaken. And what I see is that very often we tend to overcomplicate things a lot. We tend to mystify things and really forget the simplicity and the essence of what is really happening. And this is what I want to talk about in this video. It will not be a very long video because I want to just focus on the essence of what the awakening is. We do have a lot of energy. What we see if there's a spontaneous Kundalini awakening is that the life force energy, really the feminine and the masculine energy in the body, is aligning or coming together, and it's this rush of energy that is rising. What that actually is a full alignment with your essence, which means there's no resistance. There's nothing blocking your life force energy. And so it can move fully. In the experience, when people have spontaneous Kundalini awakenings, the reason why we hear all the talk about Kundalini syndrome, or people even experiencing things like psychosis, is that if there's very little awareness of who you truly are, and you're living in a way that is very out of alignment with who you intended to be, with the energy that you really are, the gap between what you can see and experience once you're in the alignment and the life that you're actually been living, that gap is huge. And if you don't have the awareness, you don't have the tools, you don't have any knowledge about how to bridge that gap, and it's so big, that can create a lot of mental challenges in the experience. What is important when we are coming back to, like I said in this video, to the simplicity of what an awakening is actually what is happening in that moment. You don't need a Kundalini experience in order for that to happen. That is the journey of any awakening. It is to come closer and closer and closer to that essence of who you are. And so the journey of awakening, no matter which way it takes, no matter what kind of experiences are initiating it, what tools you use, whatever, it is to come back to who you are. It is to remember that you are much more than just a mind and a physical body. You're so much more than that. And you have an essence. You have an energy that is inhabiting this body right now. And you're not your mind. And starting to remember, we often say learn, but it's really also remembering more of who we are. It's kind of two sides of the same coin in this case. It is to release that resistance to who we are. And so if we are super afraid, if we have a lot of fear in our lives, and we are afraid of maybe change, and we are afraid of transformation, then we are afraid of, and we're holding back any awareness to arise about who we are, because then we will have to change things in how we live. We will have to change behaviors. We will have to change the understanding of our whole identity. Because maybe you've identified with some beliefs about who you are, or a profession you have, or whatever someone has told you you are, or the specific ways you're doing things, and maybe none of those are you, really. Maybe it's created from society, maybe it's created from trauma and coping mechanisms, and it's just become this subconscious sort of pattern that you're just doing and you believe it's you. So imagine What can happen if it's a spontaneous awakening and you're suddenly in that alignment and you see that, oh my goodness, all of that is not who I am. Then bridging the gap can be rather challenging. Now, what is important to remember is that whatever way we are walking the journey of awakening, it is about releasing resistance to who we truly are, to that life force energy, because that's what it is. It is the creative energy that starts moving. That is what's happening in a Kundalini awakening, to make it really simple. But this is the focus, whether or not you're experiencing it through the Kundalini energy, because that energy is in everyone. So focusing on the life force energy, on the creative energy, and allow that to move in our bodies. Release resistance to that energy when that is active in our bodies. That is the journey of awakening. And for me, Kundalini has been an essential part of my journey. And what I have seen and observed over years is that every time I overcame a fear of mine, that could be something like, even like posting something on social media that I was a bit afraid of, that was very authentic. There was something about who I really am, and it could have been, something that I have been hiding from people, or, being afraid of what people think about me. It could be overcoming a fear of doing something that I had, been thinking maybe I'm not good enough to do this thing, or, having certain fears around things. It could be anything. But those really deep fears that I really had to work on overcoming, after doing whatever it was I was afraid of, I would experience a much more active Kundalini energy in my body. And that example, I think, really shows it very well, because those fears, those were not who I am. Those were illusions, right? Even though it felt very real in my system, in my mind, in everything, those were really only blocking my own life force energy, my own creative energy. All the beliefs that I can't do this, what will other people think, I'm not good enough, everything, all of that. That's just one example of something that we can hold in our system that is just trapping our life force energy. And so whatever we do as we are walking that path of awakening, remembering more and more of who we are, it is about releasing the resistance to the life force energy, to the creative energy, so that it can move freely. And that creative energy is our essence. It's not our mind who has decided that, oh, I'm that person, I'm going to control myself into being this and this. No, it's not. That is freedom. It is you that is moving, and it's, that changes the nervous system. It changes everything in our body, but it's so important to remember that we don't need certain experiences, we don't need certain abilities, we don't need anything of all of those things that we talk about. Yes, they are part of many people's experiences on the journey of awakening. But the awakening and that journey is about remembering who you are, to remove whatever is not you from your life and your expression, and become more and more authentic, allowing for that life force energy, for that creative energy to start moving in your body, and to have the tools and gain tools when we need it of how to bridge any gap when we have a new awareness of who we are, what we want to express, what we want to do, so that we can change our behavior, we can change, the way we think, the the neural pathways in the brain, and we can adapt to any new awareness, which is why it's very often more easy to take it step by step than by a very sudden sort of rush that many can have if it's happening too early, if it's happening when it's too much of a gap between and too little tools of how to really bridge that gap. Remember that there's never a dead energy in the body. It's when we talk about, for example, the Kundalini, we're talking about a dormant energy. Very often that's what we hear. And remember that it's more of like a static energy. It's a potential. So the energy is just held there static with a huge potential of moving. And whether or not you have experiences with that energy being active, it doesn't say anything of whether or not you are on your journey of awakening, because there's so many misunderstandings around that. That energy is in each and every person. It is your life force energy. It is your creative energy. And I will probably talk a lot more about it in upcoming videos. But the awakening journey and what we are here to do is to express who we are, who we intended to be in this expression. You are here in a physical body as energy, as an energetic being with an intention, a focus that created this body. And you are here to be that, to express that. And we will gradually remember more and more of who we are. And so releasing the resistance to who you are, releasing the fears of expressing who you really are, and being authentic to the degree that you know yourself, so that you invite for more and more remembrance and more authenticity to come in. That is really what we have to remember and focus. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Please share along if it's helping you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.